You talk about people trying to understand what they want. I think some of the work that we've done, one of the biggest, most pervasive lessons that I'd learned was that there's a skill in discerning between the ego and maybe this true self that you're talking about, where there's pure consciousness, where there's awareness, where there's an ability to step back and notice that you're observing everything. You're not identifying with the ego, right? So when you say people knowing what they want, how do they take the steps to start to discern what's a desire or a want that they have coming from the ego place versus something that's a deeper, I guess, more fulfilling place?
Mm-hmm. Thank you. Very good question. It's very important to know that every being, no matter what, always wants the same thing. Everyone wants to be happy. That's the sole purpose or longing
or
or
not to
desire.
be not happy.
Or not to be, yeah,
Right?
or be free of suffering. Yes.
Free of suffering.
Free
yeah.
of suffering.
I feel like that's actually a bigger like want for most people is I want to be distracted from my suffering or I want to be free from my suffering
Yes.
rather than even being happy.
Yes. But even if you take a negation of something, then you could ask, yeah, but what would you achieve by being free of suffering?
Yeah.
Oh, I would feel good.
Yeah.
I would feel peace, you know? I would feel,
Sure.
you know, so that's the
There's probably benefits to positive framing as well.
yes.
In some ways.
And you can see there are two strategies. One is getting away from something, and the other one is getting somewhere.
Right.
And both dynamics are both present in every mind, in every consciousness. So you have to work with both trajectories. But understanding that my real desire is being free of suffering and enjoying peace, harmony, and happiness and tranquility in my life is actually what is driving me to do anything. It doesn't matter what I think I need, if it's more money or a better relationship or a new job or a better place. The end goal is if I'm going to have what I think I need, I'm going to feel better. That's the basic motivation that we all share. So, and that's good to know. It was like, okay, I already know I want to be free of suffering and I want to be happy. I know that without any doubt. I don't need any philosophy, religion, or dogma in order to understand this. This is like very common sense. And I have to admit that I'm not completely sure of how to do this. That's one of the most important things to admit to yourself. That you know what you want, but you're not really sure of how to get it, or how to achieve it, or how to sustain it. So you have to start with the truth. Even if it's just relative truth, but you have to start with this. You have to admit that you actually already know what you want, and you actually also know you don't really know how to do this. Because you always have to come back to the truth, because then you are in alignment again with reality, which I call a reality check. You know, you're like, oh, I know I want to be happy. I have no idea how to do this, but I think if I'm getting the next job, if I'm going to get more money, if I'm going to have the next relationship, this is going to make me more happy. I'm assuming that's the case. I don't know that. And my past experience mostly has proven me wrong. So what am I doing here? Right? And this is one of the most powerful moments, which is part of an awakening that every being has to go through, is an admitting to oneself that you don't know what to do. You're kind of lost. And that's a very powerful moment. It's not a moment of victimhood. It's actually claiming your power for admitting your ignorance in certain areas, because you're claiming it again. You're like, I want to be happy. I don't know how to do this. I need help. I need something to help me. And this something can be someone coming into life helping you. It can be a book. It can be a meditation class. But it can be an inner guidance. It can be a revelation. It can be a voice talking to you. It can be an inner feeling, whatever you want to call it.
Doesn't it ultimately have to be that, though? Because all these other external things can provide great reference points and provide resonance as far as, oh, that's interesting. That might apply to me. But until you try it on and get the known experience,
Yes.
then they're just
In the end,
external
it
things.
has to be that. But we have to always work with where we are.
Yeah.
And it might be very, very difficult for someone in their own process to actually trust and rely to their inner guidance, because it's so locked up into past traumatic experiences, and there might be so much layers that they don't trust that. And there might be someone appearing outside, could be a teacher, a therapist, a friend, whatever, who suddenly has this seeming authority that I can trust. It's like, oh, I don't trust myself. I don't trust myself. I need someone that I can trust. And that's not a bad step. That's actually a very valuable step in this evolution. I have been in this stage for decades.
Yeah.
And it's necessary. Yeah.
It's ultimately just finding the right mirror for you.
Exactly.
That allows you to see it.
The right mirror.
That allows you to see it in the clearest way, so you can have the reality check, so you can have the actual sense of, oh, what I'm looking at, I can actually trust that what I'm looking at is my own truth.
Yes.